So I have a love-hate relationship with Microsoft. I can't seem to do without them. I have a Surface. But at the same time, I don't particularly like the crashes, right? Most of us probably have a love-hate relationship with Microsoft, right? We've grown up with them. Hey folks, I'm Shrivo and you're watching The Big Buck Show. It's a show where we tell you how you can start your investment journey and more importantly, how you can turn your small bucks into big bucks. But here are two pretty interesting facts about them that you may or may not know. First, the founders, Paul Allen and Bill Gates, were childhood friends. They actually had a love of computing and they ended up founding one of the most preeminent technology companies of the world. The other interesting fact is that Bill Gates wanted to become a millionaire by the age of 30. And by the age of 31, he had become a billionaire based on the Windows operating system that Microsoft launched. So in this episode, we'll talk about how Microsoft is doing and how you should think about whether Microsoft should fit in your portfolio or not. A question I often get is Bill Gates still at Microsoft? And the answer to that is no. But he set up a really strong foundation. Since he retired from Microsoft, there have been two CEOs. The current CEO is Satya Nadella. And I think what's interesting is there's a lot more to Microsoft than what we traditionally think about. Of course, they make the Windows operating system and they have an Office suite. This is basically Office productivity tools like Word and PowerPoint that a lot of us use. But there are plenty of other parts of Microsoft that I don't think everyone knows about. They have Azure, which is a cloud computing arm, which is basically competing with Amazon and Google to provide hardware-less access to computing. They acquired LinkedIn and have a significantly large presence in the area of professional recruiting and networking. They have one of the biggest gaming businesses with the Xbox. And they've been investing in gaming for a while. And so if you think about the different components of Microsoft's business, it's not just Windows, right? They have diversified and actually they've been delivering growth at a level that's been very impressive. If you look back 10 years, there was lots of talk about, is there a future? How will they repeat growth? But I think they've been super successful in not only diversifying their businesses, the same way you should diversify your portfolio, but also to make bets that over the long run give them the foundation for really solid growth. So in 2021, Microsoft's annual revenues were about $170 billion. Now, that's a pretty large number, but there are two even more impressive figures. Their growth rate was close to 25%. Right? So you're growing at 25% with a base of about $170 billion. And even more impressive, for every dollar they earned, their profit was about 40%. So they made 40 cents to the dollar. That just means that their ability to fund new businesses, their ability to invest in their existing business was just unmatched, right? They have cash reserves of over $100 billion, which means their ability to invest in acquisitions, their ability to fund R&D is massive. And they're continuing to expand into new age businesses, including virtual reality, including distributed computing and AI, that I think gives them a solid tech foundation. Again, like other companies that are in the $1 trillion club, whether it be Google or it be Amazon, they have become ubiquitous in our lives, sometimes in ways we don't understand, right? And so if your question that you're asking is, how should I think about Microsoft? Is it an old technology company that, it's not a really interesting investment play? My take is that I actually think they have reinvented themselves over the last decade. And I think it's a very interesting and exciting investment play. As you think about the forward momentum, like I've said with a few other stocks, this is not about trading on volatility, right? Like I wouldn't suggest that you try and get in, get out, get in, get out. You have to assess whether this is going to be an anchor in society and the world of technology going forward? And if so, if you look at their revenue growth, their profitability, is this a long-term investment for you? And I, for one, would invest my money in it. Now, there are no guarantees, as we all know. Companies go through ups and downs. Microsoft could see the same. There could be unexpected events. But if I had to make an informed decision, I would rather invest than not, because I think there's plenty more upside still to come. So let's take a look at how you can go ahead and actually find out more about Microsoft and potentially invest in it. I use an app called Appreciate for this, and let's bring the app up. As you can see, you can search for Microsoft. The ticker will show up. It's about, give or take at the 25,000 rupee level. You can look at the company overview. Of course, click into research and look at the latest analyst research and the recommendations. Look at news, some pretty interesting news there. Overall though, I do understand if you don't want to put in lakhs of rupees at one shot, right? So there are other options for you to invest smartly. For example, you could use the fractions feature on the Appreciate app and say, you know what, while for me to buy 10 shares would be 2.5 lakhs, I don't have that. I do have 10,000 or 5,000, and that's a pretty good bet. I would love positive returns on that. I can actually then go in and buy a fraction where you don't need to buy the whole share. You can buy a part of a share, and the Appreciate app actually enables that. Check out this feature on their website, the details of which are on the screen. And of course, you can download the app and try this for yourself at the same time. So we've given you some interesting facts about Microsoft. We've talked about their performance, revenue profile, return profile, and we've also shown you how to access information and potentially invest in it. I'll leave you with this. For any company that you're looking to invest in, understand if they're likely to be ubiquitous in this world. And if you look at what Microsoft's doing, it's highly likely that they will continue to touch all our lives, either through the job market, through LinkedIn, or through video games, through our children, through Xbox, or through their Office suite, or through general cloud computing. And when you see that happen, it's generally a pretty good invest and hold strategy. So my take would be that it's a good investment to make, and it's one that you can also get into without putting up lakhs of rupees through Appreciate fractions, and so it's one to consider. But as you know, there are no guarantees, so you've got to assess this across the rest of your portfolio, how much you can invest. It's a pretty good option, but there are other options as well, as we've been discussing in the last couple of episodes. Hope you found this interesting. Do tell us what you thought about the episode. If you want more information, you can look at the description below or the show notes. This is Shubho signing off for The Big Buck Show. Hey folks, thanks for watching The Big Buck Show. And tell us how you thought about this episode in the comments below. Subscribe to our channel, please, and hit the notification bell so you get a notification next time a video shows up. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media. We have a Twitter channel, a YouTube channel, and of course, also an audio podcast. And hey, continue watching us so that you can turn your small bucks into big bucks.